ATLA Religion Database is the largest database of its type covering journal articles, book chapters, and also book reviews. It is a very useful tool for studying Christianity as well as other religions. Let's take an initial search on atonement in the book of Romans. So I've set it up for atonement in Romans. I'm going to do the search. Let's see what we come up with here. If you haven't already logged in or you aren't working on Trinity campus, you will need to log in. It will appear up at the top, and little bar says log in. And so you need to do that in order to see the results properly. You notice we have a number of results here, total of 161. That's quite a few. Let's see if we can limit that down a little bit. We could limit it to peer-reviewed, which should be the most scholarly of those articles. So we could do that. But there are also other kinds of limiters that we can use, particularly subject. And here we need to look at articles that focus particularly directly on the subject we're looking at, Romans and atonement. Once you've made your selections here, go down to the bottom. You can't quite see it, it's just off screen here, but there'll be a little box that says apply. I'm just going to go down there and apply. And once you apply that, you've set some limitations that will enable you to have fewer results, but probably more relevant results. Let's take a look at what we've got here. Mercy seat of the risen Christ, atonement, and the glory of God in Romans 3, 21 to 26. Paul's use of Genesis in Romans 8, atonement, etc. And so there we are. Lots of results here that you can take a look at. What do we do with those results? Well, one thing we want to make sure we can do is actually access the content. And you do that by looking at the box just underneath, click on it, and it will give you options for getting the full text. And in this case, we have it in a couple of other databases, not this one here, but a couple of others, and it will give you the linkage so that you can go directly to the article there. Here, you can download a PDF directly. This one here, PDF, and so on. And so getting the full text is fairly easy. What about citations? You want to cite these things, and you don't want to have to write out your full citations in whatever format you're using. In order to do that with an individual article, go up here on the right. There's 3 dots, and one of those under that says Cite, and we can choose our citation format, for example, Chicago 18th edition notes and bibliography, and then you will find the citation right there, and you can copy it to a clipboard and use it. What if you want to choose several items that you want to cite all at the same time? You can just make your selection. I'll just select 3 of them here, and I'll go up to the top, and it says Cite right here. In this case, we'll first of all find our Chicago notes and bibliography again. You only see 1 citation, but it says plus 2 more. So if you copy all of those to the clipboard, then you'll be able to pull them off, put them into a document, and you've got a proper citation. Be careful with these citations. They're not always perfect, but they're usually pretty good. So I'm going to close that up. There's an option in ATLA that could be very useful for you, and that's the scripture search. In order to use the scripture search, probably the best way is to go into advanced search. So click here, advanced search. And in this case, we want to look at a passage that starts with Romans 3:21, which is the famous atonement passage in Romans. And I didn't put the whole end of the passage in here because I'm not sure what extent we're going to be looking at, but I typed in Romans 3:21, and I got 48 results. So you can search directly on a scripture passage and find articles related to that scripture passage. You see Romans 3:21 to 26, and so on and so forth. You notice some of these are in other languages. This one's 3:25, so that's 1 verse within the passage, and so on and so forth. Romans 3:21 to 26. So that can be a very useful tool as well. ATLA Religion Databases is a very helpful resource for any kind of religious studies. And I urge you to try it out, see how it works, and benefit from it. Thank you.